just joined, this is Shalaya with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we will be going over the new KW website platform. So we're going to start with the basics and go over how to customize some of the information that's being loaded on the website, how to get those testimonials added, swap your background images, and some of the items that are still TBD and have not been launched yet. We will cover a little of everything, so be sure that you guys are informed on the new sites as possible. So to start, you do want to log into the command platform. So you can see that I am already logged in here. So if you have not launched your new websites yet, you do want to be sure that before you launch those, you review our tip videos and information that we have on how to preserve your website content before you switch over. So first, before we jump in here on command, I'm going to show you this other tab I have open here. So this is just our SLM website here. So if you're not sure how to log into this site, you can simply just use your Market Center number to gain access. So we're going to go here and hover over Agent Resources. And under this tab here, we have a link for new KW agent websites. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this here. And I'll drop a link to this in the chat box for you as well. So within this page, we have a bunch of resources based on the new KW sites. So once you get on this page, the first thing you'll see at the top is our training calendar here. And then below that, we have our YouTube playlist for the new KW agent sites. So this playlist is where you can find all of our tip videos, our previous trainings, anything that we've done up until now. And then you'll see we have some of those tip videos pinned here for easy access. So your first one here is your what to do before launching your new KW site. So again, if you have not launched your new site yet, be sure that you check out these tip videos before you do, just to make sure that you are preserving everything that you might need. Below that, we have our other tip videos here on how to upgrade to the new command site. And then below these tip videos here, we have links to the KWRI provided articles. So as each new update comes out, KWRI does release a new article explaining each of these updates, which is great. So those can be found listed here, and you can also find them on KW Answers. So all of these articles on this page here are strictly on the new KW sites. And I will go ahead and drop a link to this page for you as well, so you can save that. So as any new updates come about, any new articles are going to be posted within this page here. So definitely grab that link, bookmark it, and save it so you can access that in the future when you need it. So I'm going to jump back over to our command tab here. So if you have been with KW previously, you may remember that any custom content added to the website or custom pages had to be adjusted manually, as such as your name or your headshot photo, your bio, or any other information when making any changes or updates. So now with the new command sites, this information updates automatically within your marketing profile. So because of this, you do want to be sure that your marketing profile is always current and up to date and in good standing, as this is the information that will feed over to your website. So before we jump into our sites, we're going to head over to our marketing profile just to go over how to update that information whenever you need to. So we're going to go ahead and click on our name in the top right corner. And we're going to go down to settings. From here, we'll go over to the left-hand side and go under Connect Settings. And this is where you can find your marketing profile here. So we're just kind of going to do a brief overview of this profile. So one thing to point out in the top right, this use my information to brand my agent site. You do want to be sure this is always toggled to green, as this is what feeds your marketing profile to your website and your marketing materials. So always make sure that is turned on. For your headshot photo, you do want to be sure that this is cropped to a perfect square. So if it looks distorted or anything in the circle preview here, that is how it will show up on your marketing. So if you need any help updating that or cropping your photo, you can send it over to us and we would be happy to get that updated for you. Next, we have a spot for a team logo. So if you're on a team, you can upload your team logo here, or if you have a custom logo for your business, you can add that in. Otherwise, we do recommend adding a generic KW logo like you see here, or a realtor logo, something like that as a placeholder. Only because some of the marketing automatically pulls that logo image in, so it will show up as a broken image if you don't have something uploaded there. So next you have your details, so your name. So if you ever need a name update, if you get married, change your name, anything like that, this is where you want to be sure that is updated, because this is what will reflect on your website. We do recommend being sure that your name reflects the name on your license, just to make sure that you are following compliance. Some other items here are your license number, your team name if you are on a team, your job title. If you have a slogan that you use for your business, you can add a custom slogan in here. Your designations and credentials are below that. So most likely yours here will say realtor. And if you're not sure how to get the realtor symbol in here, my number lock is turned off here. But if you hold down the Alt key and type in 0174, that should give you that symbol there. Mine's not quite working right now. Let's see. There we go. So that is the Alt key plus 0174. So below that, we have our military affiliations. So if you are affiliated with the military, you can add that here. So you can choose your affiliation from the list, and then you can choose the branch that you are affiliated with. If you do add these in, be sure that you click on the add button to the right to save those changes. Otherwise, it will not stick even if you click the save button at the bottom of the page. Next, we have our bio. So the way your bio looks in this box is how it will show up on your marketing. So if you have any line breaks in between your paragraphs or anything like that, this is where you want to be sure that is reflecting properly. So below that, we have our contact information. If by chance you are in another country, you can change the country code by clicking on the drop down here. Your office phone number, your email, your website URL. Most likely you will see your command site URL here, unless you are utilizing a custom domain. Below that, we have our market center information. So we do recommend being sure that your market center information is always up to date. So if by any chance you transfer market centers or your market center has moved locations or anything like that, always make sure this is reflecting the correct address. On top of that, we have the market center logo. So unlike the headshot photo, if the logo looks distorted here like this one does, this does correct itself on the marketing. It's only the headshot photo that will not correct itself. Below that, we have our compliance items. So if your market center requires any text for the legal footer, you can add that here. You don't need to add the verbiage of each office is independently owned and operated, as that is automatically on your marketing already. So if you were to type that in there, it will show up twice. Below that, you have your legal footer links. So if you have any links that you need to have for compliance, you can add those here. So for example, our Texas agents have a couple links that are required for compliance, as well as our New York agents. So if you need any help adding those, you can let us know and we can assist you with that. Next, we have legal footer images. So you'll see here in the description that these are very small. They're only 128 by 48 pixels. So you probably don't want to use any of this for any advertising or things like that. But if your office has any images that are required, or if you want to add any designation logos in there, things like that, you can certainly do that. And then last at the bottom, we have the option to add our social media links. So here you can add your links to your business pages for Facebook. If you have a Twitter set up, your Instagram page, YouTube channel if you have one, as well as your LinkedIn profile. So all of those can be added in here, and those would include links on your website directly to your pages. And then here at the bottom, you'll see Google Analytics ID. So with the new KW site, this has actually moved to the back end of the site. So you don't need to update this within the marketing profile. And I will show you later on in this class where that can be updated for the new sites. So once you make your changes, be sure that you click on the save button at the bottom to save any changes you've made. And then that's going to refresh your page and let you know that your saves or your changes were saved successfully. So now that we are done with our marketing profile here, we can go ahead and jump into our consumer tab. So this is going to be the last icon on the left-hand side here. If you're still getting used to what each of these icons stand for, you can click on the red KW in the top left corner, and that does bring out a description of each of these icons for you. So we'll go ahead and click on consumer here at the bottom. So now that we are in our consumer tab, there's a couple of things that I will go over since I know this looks a bit different from the original site. So as far as the consumer tab, this is basically replaces that site and app setting link that used to be in the top right corner. So here's where you can update your website domain URL. So if you do want to change your domain at any time, you can change that here. And just be sure to click that Save Changes button here. And then it will let you know if that was accepted or if it was unavailable, anything like that. Below that is where you can find your app URL. So for your consumer app. So if you ever lose it or forget it, you can always go right back into your consumer tab and find that here. And if you ever need to share it, you can simply click on the copy button here, and then you'll be able to paste that wherever you need to. Down below that for preferences, these are pretty much the same as they were previously. So if you want to show or disable the color covered information from your KW app, you can do that here. As we know, some offices do not allow the color covered to be displayed on their marketing. So if you need to disable that, you can go ahead and click on disable in these drop downs. Or if you want to add it to your KW app, you can simply enable that here. And just like the domain name up here, just be sure that you are clicking on Save Changes here. So down below that, you are going to find your options for forced registration. So this will require your clients to sign up with a consumer login on your website based on the settings that you choose here. which this will also capture their information as a new lead. So your options here, so you have unrestricted, which means that anyone can view unlimited properties on your site without having to register. You can set it to 10 properties, which means that they can view 10 properties before it asks them to register on your site. You can set that to 2 properties. So if you only allow them to view 2 properties before signing up, you can do that. Or you also have the option to set it to no property viewing. So if you have it set to no property viewing, then they will not be able to view any properties without signing up on your site first. So just like the other 2 sections, if you make any changes here, just make sure you click on the Save Changes button. Now, any changes made on this page can take up to 15 to 30 minutes to reflect. So if you don't see these updates working right away, it may just be that you need to give it a little bit of time to update through the system there. So one other thing that I will mention before we jump over to the back end of our site is that you may notice up here at the top, you will no longer see an option here for landing pages. So this is completely intentional. So landing pages are officially retiring out of the system with the new sites. You will still have access to generate open house sign-in pages for your listings, which is still meant for capturing that contact lead information at your open houses. And those are listing specific. And I'll show you how to generate those a little later here. So as far as the website goes, we will go ahead and click on this Edit My Website button in the middle to jump into the back end of our new site. So once this loads, you may see this pop-up come up on your screen here. So this is going to give you a quick tour of the system. So for right now, I'm going to click on the Explore on my own button here. However, if you ever do click out of this and you decide you want to take that tour, it will pop up again when you sign back in. Or you can also click on the tour button in the top right corner, and that will take you right back to that pop-up here. So you always have access to that tour at any time if you just simply click that button up there. So as far as today's coverage, we will just kind of work our way down the Edit My Website portion here. As far as the overall platform, these may not be in order, but we will start from the top of the list and go down just to avoid any confusion. So all of the pages listed here are the default pages for each newly launched site. So there's not currently an option to add additional custom pages at this time. However, this should be coming to us soon within new updates in the near future. So just for a brief overview of each of these pages listed here. So the About the Agent. So this is very similar to the About Me page on the original site. So this is going to pull in all of your information from your marketing profile, which is why we do always want to make sure that profile is completely up to date at all times. The homepage is basically what it says. It is the homepage of your website. So that is where your hero images are, your featured listings, and now your homepage also has your testimonials as well as a blog. And then below that, you will see the blog list page. So you are provided with a blog with the new KW sites. So once you launch your site, every agent is automatically given 4 default blogs to start. And then you do have the option to add custom blogs as you go. Now, when you're looking at this, your page titles may look a little different on your end, as these titles are completely customizable when you make changes to your site. So if by some chance these are not reflecting the same on your end, that's completely normal. Don't worry about it. So before we start jumping into these pages, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show you is what the new open house sign-in page looks like. So at the top of this page, you'll be able to locate your website URL here. So if we click on this, this is going to open up our website in a new tab. So once we are on the live site, we want to navigate to the specific listing that we want to generate that open house page for. So you can either search for your listing in the search bar here, or if you have your listing added to your featured listings already, you can simply scroll down to your featured listings and select the listing that you would like to create that open house sign-in sheet for. So I'm just going to click on a listing here. So once we are on our listing page here, so this is very similar to how it was before. It brings in all of the MLS details over from your MLS listing. So all of the listing photos will be up here, all of your details from that MLS listing. And then to generate that open house sign-in sheet, what we want to do is go up to the search bar of our browser here. And we're going to click on the URL link here. And we want our cursor to be at the very end of this link. And then we want to type in / open house. Just like that. So we don't want to have any spaces or characters or anything in there. Just a simple / open house here. And then once we have that typed in, we'll simply click on enter on our keyboard. And that's going to refresh the page and generate our open house sign-in sheet. So once this page populates, you can grab this URL here and share it just like you used to with your open house landing pages. So you can copy that link, you can generate a QR code, share the link, however you used to do it. It works the exact same way. And you can also utilize this form for the entire duration for your open house. So if you want to have it up on your device that you use, whether it be a laptop or tablet or anything else, you can keep this up the entire time. And then each time someone enters their information here, you will have the option to go back to the form to capture the next person's information once they're done. So I'll go ahead and fill this out and show you what that looks like here. So you'll see that this popped up red here. So it's because I did not check that checkbox. So there is a little disclaimer down here that they are opting in to receive phone calls, text messages, email, any kind of correspondence. So they do have to check this box off when they complete this sign-in page here. So once that is done, they can then submit their information. And what that's going to do is that's going to refresh with your agent profile information on the left side and the property information on the right side. So they can scan this QR code, and that's going to bring them to this property listing on your website so they can view all of those MLS details. So once you have finished capturing that information, in the top left, you will see this back to sign in button here. And that's going to bring you back to the sign in form so you can capture the next client's information. So you can use this form for your entire open house. You don't have to refresh it or change it, do anything with it. You can just keep it open the whole time and capture each information as you go. So now let's go ahead and back to the back end of our website. So I'm going to close these out here and go back over here. So first up, we have our About the Agent page. So let's go ahead and jump into this here. So you'll see on the left side here, we have some different drop-down options. And then on the center of the page, we have a preview of what our page looks like. And then you'll see on the right side, we have all these dates and links here. So what this is this keeps track of any revisions that are made to the page. So if you ever need to look back at a previous revision you've done or keep track of the changes you're making, this tracks everything right here within the back end of your site. So back over to the left-hand side here. So if we look at each of these options here, so we have agent profile, agent details, agent bio. So you'll see these drop downs only have one option. So you have the option to either display or hide any information from this page. So the reason you don't have options to make edits here is because this page pulls directly from your marketing profile. So if you need to make any changes to this site, this no longer has to be done manually. You will simply just go to your marketing profile, update anything that needs to be updated, and those changes will reflect on your website. We have seen that it does look to take about 15 to 30 minutes for those changes to reflect. So if you do need to go in and change something and you don't see it updating right away, you just may need to give it a little bit of time to update on the back end for you. So if we wanted to hide our bio from this page, we could simply go over here and click the hide option under bio. And then this preview in the middle should update. So that automatically took away our bio here. So any options here that you can display or hide, this will update automatically in your preview. And then last at the bottom, we now have the option to add preferred vendors to our site. So this is done through a third party that KW has partnered with called Move Easy. And you'll see that listed here in the description. So there's a link kind of hidden here. So you'll see that it does say click this link. And where it says link is actually where you're going to click on to open it. So you do want to be sure that you are actually clicking on the link and you don't right click and select to open in a new tab or window, as we have found that does not tend to work. However, if we click on this link directly, it should go ahead and open up in a new tab for us. So in here is where we can add our preferred vendors. So you can add new vendors by clicking on the Add Vendor button up in the top right. And I won't go too in-depth into this just because it can get very detailed depending on how far you dive into it. However, there is a KWRI article that goes over this in many details. And I'm going to go ahead and open that and show you a couple things there, as well as drop a link to that in the chat box so you can save it. So we'll go ahead and open this up. So you'll see right at the top of this article, there is a yellow banner message here stating that you must have an agent role for vendors to display on your KW agent site. So if you are not listed as an agent on the back end, then your preferred vendors are not going to show up on your site. So if you are adding preferred vendors and you're having trouble viewing those on your live site, there could be something on the back end that is blocking those. If you are having trouble figuring that out, you can reach out to us and we would be happy to take a look at that for you. We'll go ahead and jump back over here. So once you add those in there, those are automatically going to show up on your site. So you can see we have ours listed right down here in the preview here in the center. So while you won't see a list here in this drop down, you will see them appear here once you add them in that Move Easy platform here. So when you are done making changes to your page, You do want to be sure that you are clicking on the save button in the top right to save your changes. Otherwise, these changes will not reflect on your website until you go back in and save them. One thing I will point out is if you do go out of this, so to get back to our dashboard, we can simply click on the KW logo in the top left. So if we were to click out of that page without saving it, and then click back into it again. So let me go ahead and actually make some changes here that stick. So for one, it's going to ask you, are you sure that you want to leave the page? So if we do leave the page, say we have something else we need to go back and do, we're not ready to save it yet, we can jump back into that page, and there's going to be a yellow banner at the top restoring your progress that you've made. So you can go back in and finish any updates that you were working on if you need to leave it in the middle of your changes. So if you want to revert back, you can click on clear changes, or you can go in here and click on the save button. So we'll go ahead and go back to the dashboard again. So next we are going to go to our home page here. So there were some changes on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and clear changes on this and refresh just to start with a clean slate here. So similar to the previous one, you will see all of your sections here on the left side. And just like our dashboard, if these titles look different on your end than you are seeing on our end, these are customizable to each page. So they may reflect a little differently when you're looking at them. So just like the last page, we have our preview here in the center. So as we make changes, we can kind of see what those look like here in the middle. So we'll go ahead and start at the top and go down through each of these sections here. So first at the top, we have our listing search module. So this is where our hero images are stored. So you can customize the title however you would like to. So the title is going to be the text that shows up above the search bar here. And then below that, you will have the option to add custom hero images, which we've already uploaded some custom ones here. Otherwise, if you have just launched your site, or even if you haven't launched your site yet, the default hero images will automatically be these three that you see here. So you'll see that these are kind of grayed out right now. So that's because we already uploaded our own custom images. So that automatically puts the default hero images into a dormant phase, and it will not use them unless you choose to add them. Or if you were to go in here and remove all of your custom images, it will automatically revert back to these default images, which is great because if you were to go in and remove your images, you don't have to worry about this being blank. It will always have at least the default images there for you. If you are looking to add custom images, you can simply click on the Add Image button. And then once this little box comes in here, you can simply click on it. And so that's going to give you a pop-up window here where you can add images by clicking the New Image button in the bottom left of this pop-up here. So we've already got quite a few images uploaded here, so I'm not going to go through uploading any new ones right now. However, you will just simply click on that new image button and it's going to take you to a page where you can upload your image from your computer. And then it will show up in this box here. And then once you have that uploaded, you can simply click on the image and it will add that to your hero images here. So just like before, you can have a maximum of 5 hero images uploaded. So if you need to make any changes or upload additional photos or remove photos, you can simply click on the red dash here to take that away. You can also reorder these by clicking and dragging them around if you want to change the order in which they show up here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up just to give us some more space to view our next section here. So below our hero images, we have our featured listings. So again, this might have a different title on your end, depending on how much changes you have made already. So you do have the option to display or hide this, just like our items on our About the Agent page. So if you by chance don't want to feature any listings on your site, you can go ahead and go in here and hide this, and that will take that away from your homepage there. So I'm going to go ahead and change that back to display here. So we have a couple different options for featured listings. So there is a new dynamic option with the new KW sites. And then you can also go to the basic option. So the basic option is just like the previous KW site where you would go in and manually add and remove your listings as you prefer to update them. With the dynamic option, you can set a center point location. So you don't have to have a full address in here. You can simply just put a city in here if you want to base it off of a city, or if you want to base it off of your market center address, wherever you want that center location to be, you can enter that in here. And then once you select your location point, you can choose how many listings you would like to display, and then the mile radius of which you want to pull listings from. So we do recommend keeping a lower search mile radius, especially if you're in a more rural area. Otherwise, you might not get as many listings based on what you're looking for there. You also have the option to sort your listings. So there's many sort options here. You have living area, price, the days that they've been listed, and recently updated down here. So you can choose how you want to sort those as far as the dynamic options go. You also still have the option to manually add listings here. So if you want to set your dynamic settings, but you still want to feature your own listings, you can manually add listings in here still by clicking this little plus icon and searching for the property address here. Now, when you manually add listings here, these are going to show up first on the list. So it will show your added featured listings before it gets into those dynamic listings there. Below that, you'll see a drop-down for filter listings. So you can add additional filters here to help filter out those listings. So if you do have a larger search radius or you are using a large number of display listings here, you can sort through certain listings that you want to showcase. So you can select multiple options. So for listing categories, you have sale, sold, rent, or rented. Under listing status, you have active, pending, and coming soon. And keep in mind, this is also based on the information that your MLS allows. Every MLS board is different when it comes to pendings and coming soons. So just keep that in mind if you aren't seeing your listings populating correctly. So next you can select number of bathrooms, minimum or maximum. Same with bedrooms and square footage, as well as lot size and price range here. And then you can also add in keywords. So if you wanted this to only show listings that have pools or listings that have a garage, or you can add in any other custom keywords that you want to throw in there. You can add as many custom keywords as you would like to. You can click and reorder them if you want to. And then you can also remove them by clicking the red dash there. Now, if you don't want to use the dynamic option and you only want to showcase your own listings, then we could simply click on this drop down and revert it back to the basic option. And then you would simply go in here and manually add your listings just like you would before. Now, if I change this back to dynamic here, so just like the keywords in our hero images, anytime you see this little icon here with the arrow and the lines, that's how you can manually sort your items. So if you want to change the order of how things are showing up, you can simply click and drag those however you would prefer them to be ordered. So let's go ahead and scroll up here, and I'm going to drop this back down. That way we can view our next section. So next we have our featured testimonials. So if you were utilizing the previous site, you may remember that the testimonials were housed in their own page on your website. Well, now these are on the homepage of your site. So these are going to be right under your featured listings. You will have your featured testimonials. So you can change the title if you would like to. So it automatically defaults to featured testimonials, same with the featured listings. And then you also have the option to add a description under the title here. Now for your testimonials, so these will show any testimonials that are captured on your new site, or you can also manually add testimonials. So if you come in here and you are not able to find the testimonials that were previously captured on your site before you launched your new site, that is because those are not automatically pulling over to the new site platform. However, if you did have previously captured testimonials, you can still locate those. So I'll show you where those are quick. So I have Scott's command open here in another window. So within our consumer tab, if you did capture testimonials on your previous site, you'll see here at the top, we have a tab for testimonials. So if we click over to this is going to show us all of our legacy testimonials that were previously captured. So if you are wanting to go in and manually add those previous testimonials to your site, I'll go ahead and show you how you can do that. So I'm going to go back to our platform here. So under future testimonials, you're going to see this little plus button here. So this is how we can add our testimonials. So you're going to see this list here. So these are testimonials that were either captured on our new site or testimonials that we have already manually added. So to manually add a testimonial, we can click on the Create New button at the top of this list here. And that's going to bring us to a new window here. So the first thing at the top, we have our star rating. So we have 1 through 5. So if we go back to our legacy testimonials here, so we can grab any testimonial from our list. So we'll just start with this top one here. So this was a 5-star rating. So we'll go ahead and log that as a 5-star. And then we have our testimonial text here. So we can simply highlight that and then right click and copy. Now, if it is a longer one, like this second one looks like here, if you click on the 3 dots all the way to the right side and click on View Full Review, that's going to give you a little pop-up box with that full testimonial there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. So in the testimonial box, I'm going to go ahead and right click and paste that. So there's our testimonial there. And then below that box, we have first name and last name. So we'll go ahead and capture that information here. And same thing, we're just going to go ahead and copy and paste that to make it easier. And same for last name here. So this tracks all of the information that was captured in your previous testimonials. And then below that, you have your client since date here. So we can go back over here. So you'll see this tracks your client since by year. It doesn't give an exact date for the client since date. However, it does give you a submission date, but you'll see those are very different in the years listed. But if we go back over to our new site and we click on this client since date, it's going to ask you to select an actual date here. So I'm just going to go to 2017, which is what that year was. And we're just going to pick a random day in here. And we'll set that. And then you do have the option to add location information, city, state, zip code, country. These are not required to submit your testimonial. Your main requirements are your star rating, your testimonial text, your client name, and your client since date. Those items are required, so if you don't have any of those filled out, when you click on the publish button in the top right, it will let you know that it cannot publish those. And then down below that, you do have a toggle, whether they are recommended or not, if you want to add that in there as well. So now that I've got these in, I'm going to go ahead and click on publish in the top right. That's going to give me a green banner here letting me know that it was published. So now I'm going to click on the back button in the top left. So now that I entered that in, if I were to click on this list, that testimonial that I just added is going to be right here to add to our testimonials list. So you'll see at the top of this form, you can sort by either newest or oldest. You should be able to display up to 20 testimonials, which is great since the old site only allowed you to show up to 12, I believe it was. You also have some filter options here. So we can go ahead and add a few more here. And to add them, you just simply click that plus button every time, and you're going to select them from the list here. So once you have your testimonials added here, you can simply click and drag just like all the other options for sorting. And you can change the order of them manually if you would prefer that over the sorting by date, newest or oldest. So you can either use that sort option or you can manually sort them yourself. If you ever need to remove testimonials from your site, you can simply click on the red dash to remove it. And if you don't want testimonials to show on your homepage, you can also go up here and choose to hide it completely if you would prefer to. So again, we'll go ahead and shrink this up. And then our last option here on our homepage is the blog. So again, just like the featured listings or testimonials, you do have the option to hide this if you do want to hide the blog from your homepage. You can change the title if you would like to. It automatically defaults to my blog with buyer's guide in parentheses here. You have the option to add a description here. It does already have a default description if you don't have anything added there. And then you're going to see 4 blogs listed here. So these blogs are default and they are automatically added to every newly launched KW site. So every agent that launches their KW site will automatically get these 4 blogs. So this is a 4-part buyer's guide. And then you do have the option to add custom blogs to your site if you would like to. Now, I know we're kind of running out of time today, so I won't go too in depth into that. However, you can find information on that as well within the KW articles. And you can also email us if you are having trouble adding custom blogs as well. So if we were to go back to our articles up here, so if you saved that link that I dropped at the beginning of class, you should have access to all of these articles here. So if we go under the option for add content to your agent website, and I'll go ahead and drop this for you as well. So on this page, if we scroll down some, we're going to find a section for blog. So blog posts down here. So this will give you some information on adding custom blogs to your site. So if you want to grab that link and save it to review at a later time, definitely do that, grab it, bookmark it. And if you have any trouble adding blogs, you can just reach out to us and we are happy to jump in and take a look for you. So let's go ahead and jump back here. So when you make any changes to this, again, just like the other pages, make sure you are clicking that save button in the top right, just to make sure that you are saving any changes that you've made. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our dashboard here. So the last thing we have here before we finish up in our edit your website section is we have our contact form here. So if we go ahead and click on this form for contact, which your title may be different, these are completely customizable. So this here is our contact form. So if you remember from the original site platform, your contact form was at the bottom of your page. So this is very similar to that. However, you can see that it does look a bit nicer. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, we don't have a lot of editing options to confuse us with. We do have the option here to change the title on the form. So this title is the text that shows up at the top of our contact form here. So if you want to change this text at any time, you can simply just go into this form link and adjust that on the back end here. And once again, if you make any changes to that title, just make sure that you click on that save button in the top right. So the last thing that I'm going to show you on the back end of the site today is we now have the option to change the color theme of our site. So if we go to the top left corner and click on these 3 lines here, we can click on that and then click on admin and then organization site. So this is going to take us to the back end where we can change the theme, as well as where you can add your Google Analytics ID. So right under the name here, we have the site theme option. So we now have the option to change from the default theme to either slate light or slate dark. So it just changes the color template on your website a little bit. So you can go in and change those, take a look at each option and see what you like best for your website. If we scroll all the way down to this form here, this is where you can locate your Google Analytics tracking ID spot. So this text box here is where you can add your Google Analytics ID if you are utilizing that in order to track your website traffic. And again, just like everything else, always make sure you click on that save button in the top right to save your changes. So before we wrap up today, I do want to go ahead and show you what the live site looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our website link here, and that's going to open our website for us. So you'll see right away, it already looks a lot cleaner than the original site looked. So you'll have your Market Center logo up in the top left. And then we have our homepage here. So if you've added your hero images, you'll see those here. Or if you are using those default images provided by KW, you'll see those there. Your featured listings, if you have that set up. Your testimonials down here. Below that, we have the blog. So all 4 of those blogs are here. And if you do get into adding custom blogs, if you click on read more, that's going to direct you right to your blog page, which is also the same as clicking on the blog link in the top right of your page here. So we have our About Me page. So here is what that page looks like once it's live. So again, this feeds 100% from your marketing profile. So if anything in this page looks incorrect or needs to be updated, you just want to make sure that you update that in your marketing profile on the back end. So down here, we have our bio, so we can click on see more to read the entire bio here. And then we have our preferred vendors layer. And then down at the bottom is that contact form. So next to About Me, we have our search properties. So again, very similar to the original site as far as how you search. You can search by city, neighborhood, address, school, zip code, all of the same items that you would search for before. It just looks a little bit cleaner here. And then we went through the blog page here. And then under more is where the leave a review page is. So this is where clients can go to leave you a testimonial for your website. So you'll see it captures their name, their location, client sense, their testimonial, and their star rating. And all of these boxes are required. You'll see it's giving me reds on everything that I did not fill out. So it will let them know that it all has to be filled in before they can submit it. And then up in the top right, we still have that consumer login. So if your clients have already created a login on your original site, they can use that same login that they used previously to access your site, and it will save all of their saved searches and everything that they had. So none of that is going to change or go away. The last thing I will show you here is that you can change the languages on the site. So up in the top right corner, you'll see the little globe icon here. So if we click on that, we have an option for languages here. So there's a whole list to choose from here. So if anyone ever needs to change the language that is displayed on your site, they can simply go in here, update that, and it's automatically going to update your website to reflect that language there. So that about wraps us up for today. I know we ran a couple minutes over. If you need any assistance with anything, run into any trouble, have any questions, you can reach out to us anytime. You can email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thank you all for joining today, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.